There is a very good video of Professor Stuart Hameroff, who searched on consciousness for many years. And the title of the lecture is Consciousness Existed Before Life. And then at the beginning of the video he started showing how life developed on Earth and so on, and actually his conclusion is that consciousness was before. From the point of the physics of now, taking in account the fact that there is no physical time, means that there is no development of consciousness at all. There is only development of life. Consciousness, from ontological point of view, is much higher than life. And the idea when consciousness was created in the universe is wrong. Because consciousness was not created. Consciousness is immanent. Consciousness is a syntropy type of energy. If we go into description with physics, that is non-created. But not only consciousness, also the ether, the physical substance of the universe, is not created. Also ether is four-dimensional type of energy. But consciousness is much more from the ontological point, something different. Also, Professor Hameroff see everything, see the universe in the perspective of linear time. This is a mistake. This is a big mistake. Actually, this is, let's say better, this is a misunderstanding. In physics today, we are beyond linear time. Linear time is running only in your brain. And if you don't step out of your psychological time, which is in the brain, then you see everything in time, but nothing ever happened in time. Everything happens now. Because only now exists. So, with the Big Bang, which actually, Big Bang theory, which is invention of the Catholic Church, this idea came into science, how stars begin, how different things begin, when they started. This is a religious question. This is not scientific question. The idea how universe started is a religious question. Scientific question is how universe works. So actually what happened in the beginning of the last century, the Catholic Church has seen that science has huge impact on society. And they say, they make a plan, they say we have to come somehow back. And they came back on the stage from the back door with this Big Bang theory, which is not science. And many important congress on Big Bang cosmology, they have been in Vatican. And Lemaitre was a priest, was a Catholic priest. So the Big Bang theory was installed by Catholic Church to get more power on society. The Big Bang theory, as it is today, is just a version of biblical cosmology, that it was nothing. At the beginning it was nothing, and then in 6 days God made the world, and then the 7th day he rested. The Big Bang cosmology has a little bit different time schedule, but it's the same principle. And now this impact that somehow things started has entered science, which is a false idea. So the insight of Professor Hameroff is very good. Life did not generate consciousness. Consciousness was before, but we have to go here one step ahead. That the consciousness is not a temporal phenomena. We cannot apply time as an emergent physical reality which enters existence when we measure it. We cannot apply time as a tool to talk about consciousness. Because consciousness is the fundamental arena of the universe. Everything exists in consciousness, which was never created. Which is now, which is eternally now. This is what Professor Hameroff is missing. And I wrote an article about time and consciousness. The article is below. So if someone knows Professor Hameroff personally, please send him this article. Once you step out of linear psychological time, past, now, future, which happened to me spontaneously, then you have a huge advance into seeing things as they are. Because nothing ever developed in time. Evolution of life on the earth also did not happen in time. It happened in now. Sure, we can measure different things, how they happen with clocks, but they happen in now. And the events in the universe are irreversible. When event X is in life, X minus 1 is gone. When the event X plus 1 enters life, the event X is gone. And life on the earth has developed because of the consciousness. Because matter, materia is in consciousness. We have 3 basic layers in the universe: ordinary matter, ether, and consciousness. And consciousness is generating via the ether the information of life. That's why life is develops toward conscious beings. Because every biological system exists in consciousness. The entire universe is entangled via consciousness. Via consciousness is everything now. And also not via consciousness. Everything is now. But for example, light, when the light carries information, this information travels in space with the light speed. But consciousness is not information. Consciousness is being. Information about being is carried by the ether. I developed this theory, very good. I mean, it's quite good. These are pilot biophotons. Anyway, Albert Einstein was somehow intuitive, in his intuition was that only now exists. That's why he say something like past and future are persistent illusions. And then he said, time is something that is outside the realm of science. But Erwin Schrödinger, he was much deeper. He says something like, only the now exists. Now is the only time. Now is eternity itself. And mainstream science, mainstream physics didn't get this point yet. They still see everything in the frame of psychological time. So the first step to advance physics is to step out of psychological time. Yeah? And if Professor Stuart Hameroff will step out of his own psychological time, then he will see everything in a much more objective way. Because experience through time is subjective in the sense that you experience something that does not exist. It's not objective. Experience directly without the interference of inner psychological time is closer to what universe really is, because universe is now. It's only now, eternally now. This now is eternity itself. I went last night in the bed and I was dreaming and sleeping in the now. Now I wake up, I'm having this lecture here, and all this happens in now. You are born, you live, and you die in the same now, but you're never aware of it. That's something that we have to develop on this planet. This has to become a common knowledge. That's why please share my videos, because they are important. It is very important what I'm talking. I send my book to Eckhart Tolle and I say, listen Tolle, what you talk now for last 20, 30 years, I developed an exact scientific model that only now exists. But Tolle didn't answer. It's okay, he didn't answer, so what? But if a Tolle would comment my book, definitely this would increase the fact. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, the bestseller. But as far as I know, I think he studied philosophy and languages. He was very talented, and then he dropped everything. He got enlightened. The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. But Tolle is not a physicist, so he cannot explain everything in the language of physics. And it is important that everything what he gave to humanity would be explained through the language of the physics. And I did that. That's the game of life.